Good morning, everybody. How are we doing today? Let's turn that music down. Fialo, good morning. How are you, bud? Um, it is a Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Middle of the week. Maybe it's the middle of your week, maybe it's not. It's middle of my week. Um, what's everybody up to? I'm back at work today. Uh, Went home yesterday, hung out with the family. I think I told everybody yesterday. My wife dropped some info on me about our middle child, so I went home and my wife and I had a bunch of good talks about what we were gonna do and what our plan was gonna be. Look at me just starting in heavy again. Morning, David. How are you? Sorry, it's just this is on my mind. Um, and So I picked her up from school. She was super happy. Um, there's I guess at her school, like her school is right next to a park, so all the middle schoolers fled to the park, and this guy, like perfect, like taking advantage of an opportunity, but this dude rolls up in like a snow cone cart, and the kids just like flock to him. So she was so excited that he was there. So I shot her a text basically saying, "Hey, snow cone guy's there. Get your get your snow cone. Like, I got no problem with that." She needs money, so I gave her some money. It's like $4, which is crazy, but it's the market, right? So she got that. She was super stoked. Um, Talked a little bit about school, talked a little bit about her friends, like this thing that her and her friends are wanting to do. We didn't get into because I wanted to, have more of a conversation with my wife, and I think we're actually going to go the route of seeking professional help. So we didn't get into like, hey, we read your text, what's going on and stuff like that. But it was just like a good car ride. And then when we got home, we had our friends come over, a little impromptu pool party at our house because it's been getting warm. Yeah, SoCal, my area, we were up at 85 degrees, 89 degrees yesterday. So we heated the pool a little bit, had the friends over, had a little like impromptu pool party. So it was a good time. Um, and Brooklyn, that's where I was going with this. And Brooklyn jumped in the pool. And even though there's no one her age, she jumped in and hung out with all the 6 year old, the two 6 year old girls that came over. And it's just super cute when she's with them. So even though we were reading some pretty intense stuff in her text messages, uh, I get these moments where I see her interacting with little kids and just being very loving and very lighthearted and very fun. And so, that's why part of me isn't as worried about what I'm seeing in these messages to friends. Um, and it's not like she's down all the time. Give me 1 second. Need to send this link. I do not know if that worked. Shoot. Can you guys still see me and hear me? There we go. Okay, I'm back. Good morning, Brofit. Fialo had a crazy workout this morning. Feeling great. That's awesome, man. Um, I have not been working out at all. I've not been walking. I've not been doing any of that stuff. I hit a wall at some point. Well, the truth is something else kind of it. It wasn't really bad, but like something got re-upped in my life that happened a while ago. I think I mentioned it a little bit on here, and it kind of threw me for a loop a couple weeks ago. Um, and so I've had to change my routine a little bit and basically got off of all the what was going on. So, and then we had two back-to-back trips. So it's like it was all kind of a big. It was a very eventful couple of weeks here. So I'm slowly getting back to it. Like I just finally did meal prep this weekend for the first time in weeks. So I'm back on a more healthy diet. Uh, my whole two members of my family, three members of my family are sick right now. Have a feeling I'm getting it. Wasn't feeling the greatest this morning when I woke up, but it was also 4 a.m. So you take that how you want it. Thank you, Fialo. Appreciate you sending love and support. Yeah, okay, David, what does it say? Agree. It is nice when you see your kids coming online. Yeah, they are mentoring someone half their age. Yeah, yeah, for sure. It was really good seeing her um, interact with these little girls, and the little girls love her. Like because she's twice their age. She's the big girl. Like they want to go hang out with her. Like they attach to her like crazy. And I know the parents love it, our friends, because like they don't have to parent. Their girls like literally attached to Brooklyn. Brooklyn watches them, and they get to hang out with my wife and chat and chit and all of that stuff. So it was a great time. Um, yeah. So that's my day. That's my source of gratitude for the morning was, having that time in the car with Brooklyn, seeing happiness and light come from her, mostly because of her snow cone or icy or whatever you want to call it, straight sugar in a glass. What did she say it was? Tasted like bubblegum blue raspberry. Yeah, she was in love with that thing. So good times. Let's sorry. Let's jump into the reading. And you guys, if you have any gratitude or any comments or any question, please drop them in the chat. I think I'm running solo today. Jason just asked for the link. I tried to do it on my phone without like messing this up and disrupting. I don't think it went through because like my screen froze and went black. So I don't think that got sent to him, so he's gonna have to log in the hard way. Sorry, Jason. Um, but yeah, if you got any questions or you wanna do a little back and forth with me, please do so. I sometimes need the help. Um, let's see, February 26th. Today's reading. Oh, today's reading. Yeah, today's reading brought me, as Jason would call it, December vibes. Very much. Talking about a situation that many parents have gone through, no parent wants to go through. We all wish, I wish every single one of you that you would not have to ever go through this. We all know someone close to us, Mr. Craig, who has gone through this, but essentially the loss of a child. And how, this family lost a child, and when they were recapping, or writing memoirs about it, it was essentially the biggest thing that kept coming up was not loving their child enough, or wishing they could love their child more, wishing for more time. Like even in families like mine or like yours, where we put a heavy emphasis on loving our children and being with our children, I would still very much think that if I lost a child, I would very much think that I didn't love them enough, didn't spend enough time with them, didn't, do enough of the things that they wanted to do versus the things that we needed to do. That's a big, this book and this reading and the Daily Stoic has a huge emphasis on memento mori, about meditating on death. And that has been a big reason why I've kind of switched my life around and molded my life around a lot more towards heavily focused on my kids and my family and making sure that I'm there for them as much as possible. And, going to all these events, even though like I don't thoroughly enjoy the process of going to the event, but blocking out all the noise as much as I can. Um, to be able to focus and just enjoy that moment that my kid is having. Like for instance, Bailey has her first swim meet of the year today. Um, she's super excited slash nervous about it. She's swimming in 4 different events, which I think is a lot for her first meet. She doesn't practice or didn't practice in the off season, so she's um, I guess she's nervous in that. Oh shoot! All right, Jason, I can do it in here. I think that's definitely easier for me. The text wasn't working. Anyone else feel free to snag that link too and come up. It doesn't have to just be for Jason. Um, what was I saying? Oh, Bailey has a swim meet. Yeah. And so I don't know if you've ever been to kid events or a swim meet in general, like every one of them's a different animal. Um, but it's uncomfortable. Like the seating is uncomfortable, so most people bring their own seats. I didn't know that. So last year, like I would roll up and be sitting on these like concrete blocks, super uncomfortable. All the kids look the same when they're in the pool, so it's very hard to find your child. Um, and they're in and out of there really quick. So you gotta really focus in and enjoy that time that she's in the pool and the little bit of celebration that you get for her from her when she like maybe runs over and high fives you or whatever because she's soaking wet. So it's not like comfortable for her to be out in the open. So it was definitely a fun thing, and like I said, I look forward to. I'm trying my hardest. I don't see any reason why I can't, but get home early enough to go enjoy that time with her. What's up, Jason? I hear you back there, but I don't see you yet. Let me read David's gratitude. Gratitude pointed to the couch. I do like it when moms want to listen into a collection of dads talk smack on what we are working on. Is there a mom? Is there a mom lurking in the background? I know we have some. I know we have an aunt or two, a Turner aunt or two that listens in on Facebook. Um, and then Jason, family coming together in difficult times despite being spread out across the country. Yeah, I think I think that's the aunt I was just referring to. Oh, Jason left. But Jason's, I think it's your aunt, Aunt Gail. I think. I don't remember specifically. I'm drawing a blank right now. Maybe he'll feel us in when you get here. But she was in the hospital for some reason. I'm wanting to say that she fell, but I don't think that's the right answer. Um, but I know that's what Jason's dealing with, and why he's been a little bit more spotty this week, not coming up, is that he's been uh, back and forth to the hospital or helping her in some way, shape, or form. So I know that's what's going on with him. So wishing her all the healing, all the love, all the support that we can. She's one of our listeners over on Facebook, and Jason's mentioned a couple of times that I think she even said a week or two ago that she thought I did a good job when I was doing a solo show because I get really nervous on these solo shows. So yeah, I appreciate, if I'm remembering correctly, I appreciate Miss Angel. Brofit, gratitude. Look at him. Look at him. He's even numbered them. Look at this guy. This guy is so on point. The balance my wife provides me. Oh, I'm not even like putting these out to the Facebook people. I'm sorry. The balance my wife provides me, health and ability to move, VFriends the opportunity to meet everyone in IRL, the roof over my head, the air in my lungs, the food in my fridge. This guy. See, this guy gets it. It's the simple things. That's the easy. This is the way I go when this is the way I start, and then I like try to write something down. But yeah, I love it, Profit. Hope you're doing well. I I had visions yesterday, today, of me and you running across a field, like two long lost best friends, a couple weeks from now. when we finally meet face to face. Like I it's weird because I've seen you so much on your workout videos, and I know you've seen me so much on these videos. So we feel like we know each other very deep and like have hung out a lot, but we've ever never actually like physically been in the same space and connected. So, and I know that a lot about IRL, V-Friends meetups. Like that's what VCon was for me. So I know this is going to be a moment, a mini moment in Arizona. But yeah, who do I got in the background? I got two J's and a David. I got two J's and a David backstage. No one coming up on the stage. We're having some problems, some technical difficulties. Oh yeah, brothers don't shake hands. Brothers got a hug. 100%, dude. There will be an embrace. There's like a meme. I was gonna find you today, and I was gonna post it of like two kids running, and that kind of thing, or the Michael Scott one where he runs in and tackles. I think it's Jim. Jason, can you get up here? Oh, do I have to add? Man, that's my fault. You guys are on the guest link. My bad.
Here we
My
go.
bad.
Now it's
My bad,
working.
buddy. That
It's
was
okay.
my fault. I didn't realize. But what's going on with David? How do I get David? Okay, I'm gonna delete this J. J will be removed from the
I
studio.
don't know.
Well, I don't want to accidentally remove current you.
I don't know which
Just
one's
working
the
through.
right one.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. David, David, your stuff is not giving me the option to add you to the stage, so I am sorry. Yeah, I forgot that you were on the guest link, so I'm just like sitting there looking at you and going, why isn't he coming up on stage? Yeah, I don't know what it is, David. It just says edit name, kick from studio, or ban from studio. Like it doesn't give me the option to bring you up. Open the curtain. I know, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. It only allows me to kick you.
Show them to the
Um,
world.
yeah. Try to go out and back in, David. I know it's only like 11 minutes. We'll get you up here one of these days, I promise.
Try to blow in it, and then hit the reset button.
Did you try turning it on and turning it off again, or turning it off and turning it on again? What's up,
How's it going?
Jason?
Uh, Good. How are you doing today?
So, if you don't mind, can you just shed the tiniest bit of light without too much information or going too deep? But because I think I might have botched it, but it's Aunt Gail, right?
Yeah. She had a fall at her house and
Okay.
she was alone for an extended period of time. So not a good situation.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. So, I mean, it's good now. But yeah, she was
Okay.
in the hospital. She's in the hospital. And my gratitude for today was it's like we're pretty spread out around the country. Let's see if I can flip my camera so I'm right side here. I'm in blaze mode today.
Nice.
Is that better? Go.
You're
My
good.
phone's like balanced precariously on
Now you
my
know
radio.
why Blaze. It's so hard to be Blaze.
Yeah. So yeah, like my dad is in town, my mom's in town. She has been in town. So it's nice that, and then I'm in contact with both my brothers. So it's just it's one of those times where it's like, oh yeah, we still we still got it.
Yeah.
Everybody, everybody's the whole family kind of comes together at times like this, and that's really what's
Yep.
important, despite being spread out and not always being in the best contact.
Yeah.
So
Definitely. I mean, that's also one of the good things about being in like a connected era of life is that everybody can stay in contact. You can get quick and immediate updates, and if anyone needs to help or come into town, like we have that ability nowadays to do all that
yeah,
stuff.
and then also like Kristen's been stepping up. You know, she's going through some job difficulties and but resolved. A really good example of how to fight for yourself with her last job.
Hmm.
which was a really great example for the girl. So thankful for that. So despite the shitty time, there's still a lot to be thankful for, and it gives me a little bit of that time in the morning to carve out for this and workouts that help me keep on the straight and narrow through all this. So
Yeah,
so
it's
it's probably
awesome.
going to be a few difficult weeks, with some tough conversations. Um, but yeah, I'm feeling everybody's good despite that. So I'm thankful for that. How about you?
Yeah.
What's your gratitude today?
Mine was, I went home yesterday after hearing about, the text messages in Brooklyn's phone that my wife read. So I decided to go home yesterday and instead of staying out here another night. I had a moment of feeling really guilty yesterday because, on these nights where I stay out here, I do take advantage of like the freedom that I have. And so I had a real huge moment of guilt of like my wife, reading some of those messages and basically reflecting on herself, feeling that like, she's not doing the right thing with Brooklyn. And, she even said like, sometimes I feel like a bad mom and stuff like that. So I kind of told her, I'm like, look, I'm going to try to be home more. I can work this job, decently remotely. I just need to check in at least once a day and then I can come home. So, I was just, so my gratitude was mainly centered around that and then getting to pick Brooklyn up from school. And, she was very happy to see me and she was in a good mood. And, she spent the rest of the day in a good mood. So it was good to see her in a positive light after like reading some really negative stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Um, if my the I have been doing the readings, but I've been kind of jumping around pages. I'm not really sure what day we're on. Uh,
The
what's a
26th.
what's a really quick synopsis of
This
today?
this one brings back, as you would
Sorry,
say,
I remember making the
December
connection.
vibes.
Oh yeah, I was the day ahead before. That's why. Um, so yeah, so along with like hospitals with elderly family members, that's a really good time to kind of reflect on the times. I don't want to get too dark here because we're not really at that point, but it's like just situations where there's like medical emergencies. Those are
Yep.
really good times to just kind of reflect on the past and the future, you know,
Yeah.
because, you and I may very well be at a point where, we need that kind of help. So it's just a good reflection point sitting in a hospital thinking about kids and then your
Yeah.
elderly family members. Um, there's another connection with the kids. So one thing that I'm trying to do that wasn't necessarily something really ever brought up was um, just kind of what's going on in the family. Like for example, I remember when my grandfather was in the hospital, I was like 9 and he passed away in the hospital. And I think to like my parents' best ability, my dad and mom tried to explain what's going on, but I didn't really know. It's like you see your grandfather who was like otherwise healthy, and then like the next time you see him, he had a stroke. So like
Okay.
the next time I saw him, he was like in a hospital. He couldn't use half his face. That was really jarring to a 9-year-old
Yeah.
me. So one thing that I'm trying to be mindful of is like being open about what exactly is going on with my girls, so they know what's going on too. Like explaining that, like, me and mom, we're going to be out of the house at separate times for the next few days. It's going to be a little bit weird. So, and then it also kind of, it's definitely a reminder of like what exactly your priorities are. It's like, yes, I'm like caring for for my family, but then it's also, it's like we still want to keep that regularity for our kids as best as possible.
Yeah.
So a little bit of learning, a little bit of gratitude, kind of all wrapped up into a nice little package.
Yep. I get that. I mean, I can empathize with your parents because I think we tend to, like, in our family, like the way my wife and I are raising our kids, we tend to, I think, shelter them a little more from like all the negativity, the stuff that's going on. But in doing so, we also take them out of, stuff like what you're talking about. Like when we moved away, uh, the people that we lived next door to, they were elderly. Like there was an elder couple that lived right next door to us, and then there was also an older gentleman that lived alone down the street.
Damn
And
it.
our kids got along very well with them. And Brooklyn, in fact, like, she almost loved them like her own grandparents. And when two of them passed away, it was a real struggle for us to find a way to tell her. And I think it goes along the lines of what you were just saying, is like they just one day passed away, right? It wasn't like a conversation about like, oh, they were sick and they've been in the hospital for this long and like all this stuff going on. It's like, uh, and it's an age thing. It's like it's kind of like what we were talking about the other day about when to teach your kids about sex and stuff like that. Or what did we call it? There was another word we put on it, but uh, it's all about finding the right time for your family and your kids, and each kid is different. So yeah, it's definitely a balance on knowing how much information to give them, but not make them to the point where it's a it's a huge jump from like this person uh, was there and then they're not there. I can't hear you. Is you on mute?
Yeah,
There you go.
sorry.
You're good.
I sausage fingers my mute button when picking it up. Yeah, I don't know how Blade does all this every day in the car. Um, Part of it, I think it's a really good exercise in learning how to introduce your kids into the adult decision making. You know, like there's still part, you still kind of want to protect that little kid of them, right? But also it's like you want to be comfortable explaining difficult situations as well, and like knowing what words to use, and knowing, letting them know like what the next steps are. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah, I think like David's saying, like I'm trying to think of the word that I just read it the other day, is like helping your kids work through things versus doing things for them, and so, emotionally, like sheltering them from the stuff that's going on or from experiences like that maybe they're too young for, or that you think they're too young for, like sex and finances, like job problems, like marital problems, like arguments, all that stuff. Like at one point, it's good to shelter them from it, because if you put too much in the kid's headspace, they they absorb it in a way that like they're not equipped to absorb it like we are, because we have experience with it, right? So um they absorb it differently than us, and then they could lose the light and the joy of life, of just being a kid. So I think a lot of our method of parenting is like trying to allow them to just be a kid for as long as possible. But I do have a little fear and concern that like the real world will come crushing down when that time comes, and that
yeah,
also we could have some of those kids that don't leave the nest, you know, because they're not ready. Uh, which, it is what it is. We'll see how that goes.
yeah. Another thought I've had recently in the past few years is like when we're talking about like keeping our kids. Um, a few things we talked about in the past months are like how like what we think adulthood is,
Hmm.
or what our perception of being an adult was. And you know, you obviously it's based on what we see our parents doing when we're kids. And I think we were all in agreement that like, you know, there's still part of us that still feels like young and learning. I'm always a big fan of like keeping that inner child. I think that's important.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've thought about before is like in times like this, you take that inner child out of you and you kind of like sit them in the chair next to the room. So like the adult you can kind of come out. I'm kind of protective of that, I guess. That's something that
Okay.
I've always kind of treasured, that I still have that part.
Hmm. Nice. Yeah, I don't, I know that there is inner child work that people do or that people learn to do. It's never been anything that I've done or experienced. I've read a little bit about it. But I think that's what you're getting at. Like actually like having that separate thought or conversation within your own mind,
Yeah,
right? Is that what
it's
you're kind of
definitely
talking about?
it's a yeah, it's a separation. It's not like it's like I definitely and hopefully for, you know, most people our age is like there's still that young, curious, excited part about you, you know.
Yeah.
And there's times when you got to put that aside and, you know, do the difficult stuff that might wash that away a bit. This is one of those times, you know. So, uh that's kind of where I'm at.
Well, I wish you, like I said, I wish you and your family all the best. Healing vibes for Aunt Gail. I'm glad that she has you guys there because she lives in the same like area as you guys.
Yeah, she's like 20 minutes away. So she's
Oh, see, that's
close,
awesome.
not
That's great.
close enough where I can be there every day. So,
Yeah,
but
but
we're working
at
through
least
it.
you're close enough, right?
We're all together. So that's good.
And then mom and dad are in town, so that's great news.
I
Okay.
gotta run though.
Yeah,
Is
me
where
too. Everybody have a good
striking time.
day. See you later, Jason, David. Thanks for chatting in the couch there. We'll see you guys all tomorrow, same time, same place. And yeah, we're out of here. Good day, everybody.